This is the story of Jack and Jill and Happiness Hill. Jack left home in search of his missing piece. Not too much after that, Jill left home looking for her missing piece. After some wandering, one day their paths crossed. Their eyes met, and their hearts fluttered. During their first kiss, they both felt they'd found their missing piece. They ascended to the top of Happiness Hill, and their hearts went pitter-pat. And their hearts were one. They got married. The bliss lasted until shortly after their first child, John, was born. Unaware, Jack crossed a boundary, a button got pushed, and Jill's tone turned critical. Jack's brain froze. John suddenly felt a burden. Jack backed up and tumbled down off of Happiness Hill. Jill, shocked by his retreat, also came tumbling down. Terrified by his parents' sudden unhappiness, John also came tumbling down. Jack, like his father before him, fell into a familiar hole and thought, "I must be inadequate." Jill also fell into a familiar hole, and much like her mother before her, she thought, "I must not be lovable." John fell into an unfamiliar hole and thought, "I did something wrong. I must be a bad person." Stuck in a maddening fog and not knowing what to do, Jack, like his father before him, decided to drink. Stuck in a confusing fog and not knowing what to do, Jill decided to eat. Frozen and stuck in a hole, John learns to hate himself and says, "I will never be good enough." It took several days for their hurts to dissipate before their voices returned and they could start working their way back up Happiness Hill. They both knew that something was different, but they couldn't talk about it. Their hearts began to dim. Repeatedly unable to resolve their conflicts, an invisible wall between them grew. Their hearts grew cold. By midlife, Happiness Hill was only a memory. Confused that following all the rules didn't bring them happiness, they agreed, like their parents before them, to again go searching for their missing piece. Split and confused, Jack and Jill's son, John, fell into a hole and wondered this: "I did something wrong. I must be inadequate." As soon as he could, John, like his dad before him, left home in search of his missing piece. Many years later, in midlife, after his wife and children have left him, in a moment of sanity, he recognized he is just like his father. In a most courageous act, he admits he has a problem and is the first in his family to ask for help. Several months after John stops drinking, he tells his therapist about a powerful dream he's just had. In John's dream, he's standing on a road and sees a boy down the road a ways. A dump truck comes up and dumps a load on the boy. His therapist tells him, "Your dream is pointing the way through the fog to find your missing piece. As you bloom, so will all your relationships." The greatest gift that we can give our children and our grandchildren is to get the help that we need.